Good morning. Let us go in the actual ceremony. We first thank those who led us in the program of the Word of God, the word of condolence. It is what we are using as our theme for the last 21 years. The preacher, may the Lord bless you. The service leader, may the Lord bless you too. Let us go in the next session of welcoming the visitors and the entire congregation today. In the name of Gatumba Refugee Foundation, we welcome all people present today who gave in their time and having the burden of commemorating ours. The theme of today says
Kwibuka ku nshuro ya 21 Genocide yakorewe abanyekongo bo mu bwoko bw'Abanyamulenge yabaye mu mwaka w'2004 mu Gatumba mu gihugu cy'u Burundi. Dushaka dusaba agaciro k'abacu bishwe, duharanira ubutabera, turwanya abapfobya Genocide yakorerwaga ubwoko bwacu muri Kongo.
The theme is honoring the victims, seeking justice, and combating genocide denial, targeting ours and the Tutsis in the DRC.
Arakoze cyane. Reka twakire.
Let us welcome
abayobozi bacu twatumije cyangwa se abahagarariye iki gikorwa kugira ngo
the leaders welcomed.
Tugiye kwakira bene data.
We are going to welcome the following.
Barimo aba bantu baza kuvuga bekurikiranye n'ibi muhango.
They will mention or tell us about the ceremony we are in today.
The testimony ya Bukavu cyangwa se na Gatumba n'amazina yabo bahaguruka kugira ngo baze kugaragara hano tubamenye.
The testimonies of Bukavu, Gatumba, and their names.
Bashobora guhaguruka bari kumwe nawe.
The entire team, please stand up.
Look imbere.
Come forth, please.
Aba bagabo bahagaze aha nibo baje kudusomera amazina.
The men you see standing here will read the name of the deceased.
Harimo Reverend Runyambo.
There is Reverend Runyambo,
Pastor Mahoro,
Pastor Mahoro,
Pastor Frank,
na
Reverend Kega Habimana.
And Reverend Kega Habimana.
Murakoze cyane.
Thank you so much.
Reka twakire kandi.
Let us welcome again.
A speech from university.
The speech from university students. They might stand up wherever they are for recognition. Again, we welcome the speech from Sekun's Theory. Is a lawyer, I think. May he stand up. Thank you so much.
Speech from representative diaspora.
The speech from the representative of the diaspora. If they are here, please stand up for recognition. May the Lord bless you.
Speech from representative Congolese refugees.
The representative from the Congolese refugees.
They
are not yet here.
turakira kandi speech from representative of Burundi.
The speech from the representative of Burundi.
Turakira kandi abahagarariye u Rwanda.
The representatives of Rwanda.
Abo niko twagiye tubatumira.
This is how we invited them.
Turakira kandi abahagarariye Yarid.
The representatives of Yarid.
Turakira kandi abahagarariye government ya Uganda.
The representative from the government of Uganda.
Turakira kandi abashitsi bacu mushitsi mukuru Honorable Sadok.
We welcome our guest of honor, Honorable Sadok Biganza.
Murakoze cyane nyakubahwa.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Turakira abahagarariye Gatumba Foundation barimo Bishop James Mutegetsi.
The representative from the Gatumba Foundation, Bishop James.
Turakira kandi abahagarariye mitualite y'Abanyamulenge muri Kampala.
The speech from the president. Thank you. Let us take a word, telling you briefly on the history or the testimonies of our people that we are against the genocide in Gatumba. There is the genocide of Ugobogo. There were genocide in Bukavu.
Rero abo twaje kwibuka uyu munsi tutirengagije cyangwa se mutwibagiza abo bakorewe genocide aho mvuze,
without neglecting the people I've mentioned.
Uyu munsi twaje kwibuka abacu bakorewe genocide mu Gatumba.
Today we are here to commemorate the genocide against the Banyamulenge in Gatumba.
Tariki 13 z'ukwezi kwa 8 2004.
On 13th of August in 2004.
Lero reka mbabwire muri makeya.
And briefly, let me tell you
uko byagenze Bukavu kugira ngo tugere mu gihe cyo guhunga, bamwe bava Bukavu abandi bava Uvira.
The way it was in Bukavu and Uvira before seeking refuge in Burundi.
Mu mishikirano ya Kongo n'abarwanyaga Kongo barimo RCD.
The agreements of RCD and the government of DRC
yabaye Sun City,
that took place in Sun City.
Bumvikanye ko haba 1+4. Sinzi nimba bisobanura. President Kabila n'aba vice president bane.
Oh, they agreed to have one president and 4 vice presidents.
Muri abo ba vice president,
among the vice presidents,
harimo uwo mu bwoko bwacu bw'Abanyamulenge.
we had a vice president from our community of the Banyamulenge,
ariwe wari uyoboye,
who was leading RCD.
Uko bagabuye kugira ngo ama district cyangwa se ama region bagende bayayoborana.
The way they are divided administrations
In Bukavu,
muri
Sud Kivu,
in South Kivu,
mu rwego rw'ingabo bahahaye leta ya Kinshasa.
In the department of military, the government of Kinshasa controlled it.
Cyangwa se ubuyobozi bwa Kabila.
All the leadership of Kabila.
Baita PPRD.
Was PPRD.
Visi mu buryo bw'ingabo yagomba kuba wa RCD.
The vice in the military department was supposed from the RCD party.
Ico gihe rero nyuma ya Sun City,
so in the arguments of the Sun City,
muri 2004 umwaka utangiye,
at the beginning of 2004,
bohereje uwitwa Nabiola, General Nabiola.
They sent General Nabiola.
Uwo Nabiola bamwoherezanya n'umwajuwe wiwe witwa Jire Mutebutsi, Colonel Jire Mutebutsi.
General Nabiola was sent with the vice called Jire Mutebutsi.
Jire Mutebutsi yari wo muri RCD.
Jules Mutebutsi was from the RCD party.
hari abasirikari bamwe bakekwaga kuko baba barishe Kabila.
There were some suspected soldiers alleged of killing Kabila.
Ibyo ko ndashaka kubibabwira kugira ngo mwumve inkomoko yo guhunga kwacu.
I want to tell you to know the origin of our escaping.
Hari umusirikari witwaga Kasongo wari mu bakekwaga kuko bishe Kabila.
There was
Desire Kabila.
a soldier called Kasongo suspected of being the killer of the late President Kabila.
Yari muri Sud Kivu, yari Bukavu.
Was in Bukavu, South Kivu.
Imaze gushiraho guverinoma.
When that government was formed,
1+4 nabwo.
the one leader with 4 vice presidents,
Bafunga Kasongo.
they arrested Kasongo.
Afungirwa muri prison centrale.
Was imprisoned in central prison.
Abagize cyangwa se chef d'état major wari uhari Kinshasa ubwo.
The chief of staff in Kinshasa by then
ashaka kujana Kasongo kugira ngo amujane Kinshasa.
Wanted to take Kasongo to Kinshasa.
Kandi ashaka kumujana atabyumvikanyeho na jiwe wiwe Colonel Mutebutsi.
And wanted to take him without the consent of Jules Mutebutsi.
Hari umuministre wari uvuye Kinshasa.
There was a minister from Kinshasa.
Aje bagiye kumwakira ku kibuga cy'indege.
They went to welcome him at the airport.
Batuma Jules Mutebutsi kugira ngo ari uja kumwakira.
They sent Colonel Mutebutsi to welcome him.
Inyuma yiwe General Nabiola.
After him, General Nabiola
aragenda fungura Kasongo
and opened the Kasongo
amushira mu modokari
and made him
kugira ngo amujane ku kibuga cy'indege aje Kinshasa.
To take him to Kinshasa.
Mutebutsi atabizi.
Without the recognition of Mutebutsi.
Niko byagenze.
That's how it was.
Bamugejeje Kinshasa.
They took him to Kinshasa.
Vice President Azarias Ruberwa.
Vice President Azarias Ruberwa. General Mike.
Nibwo bamenye kuko Kasongo yaje yavuye Bukavu.
That's when they came to know that Kasongo came from Bukavu, now he's in Kinshasa.
Bahamagara Mutebutsi.
They called Mutebutsi.
Byagenze gute kugira ngo Kasongo ave Bukavu abari hano tutabizi.
How did it go for Kasongo to be in Kinshasa without knowing?
Nubwo bari barahuje guverinoma.
Though they had combined the government.
Ariko nubundi ari amaparti.
But the parties.
Yari afite power.
They had powers.
Cyane cyane nka RCD.
More so the RCD.
RCD yari ifite imbaraga nyinshi.
RCD had a lot of powers.
Kubera kuko bataranahura.
Because even the coalition.
Navuga ko yari ifite kimwe cya kabiri cy'igihugu cya Kongo.
It had the half of the country of the RC.
No baramuhamagara ngo bamubaze nawe niho ubwo yabimenye.
They called him for inquiry. That's when he also came to know it.
Ntabyo yamenye kuko Nabiola yafashe Kasongo yamwohereje.
He didn't know that Nabiola took Kasongo to Kinshasa.
Aho ni intambara ya mbere yabere.
That is where the first war sparked from.
Colonel Mutebutsi abibajije Nabiola uko byagenze.
When Colonel Mutebutsi inquired Nabiola the reason,
aramusuzugura.
He despised him.
Mutebutsi aramurasa.
Mutebutsi shot him.
Twari turi Bukavu.
We were in Bukavu.
Nabiola ahungira muri MONUSCO.
Nabiola went to seek refuge in MONUSCO.
Ariko kubera kuko RCD yari ifite imbaraga.
Because RCD had power.
Bategetse Kinshasa kuko yagarura Kasongo kuva Kinshasa kugira ngo agaruke Bukavu.
They ordered the Kinshasa government to return Kasongo to Bukavu.
Kasongo aragaruka.
Kasongo came back.
No rero Nabiola.
So Nabiola,
ntibamugumisha Bukavu.
He wasn't left to administer in Bukavu.
Yari amaze kugirana ikibazo na Mutebutsi.
He had a conflict with Colonel Mutebutsi.
Bamusubiza Kinshasa.
They returned him to Kinshasa.
Bohereza General Mbujamabe.
They sent General Mbujamabe.
Mbujamabe yaje afite isura mbi y'umunyamurenge.
That general came with bad information about the Banyamulenge.
Ikintu cyatumye intambara iba ya Mbujamabe na Mutebutsi na kandi ubusa rwose.
The spark of the war between that general and Colonel Mutebutsi
kuri
was something
24
on 24th
z'ukwezi kwa gatanu
of May
2024 twari tuvuye mu kazi nimugoroba saa 11.
We were from work in the evening.
Abagore b'Abanyarwanda bavaga icyangugu bazaga kugura amasukari n'ibindi byashara bakabinyuza fraude babicishije mu mazi.
The Rwandan women from Rwanda who could come to purchase could pass down the border in waters.
babigejeje aho ahitwa muri Keredi munsi yaho jewe nari ntuye.
When they reached in a place called Kredi,
abahungu b'Abanyamulenge umwe muhungu w'Umunyamulenge n'undi umuhungu Masesi bara ba escort ba Mutebutsi.
the two young men who were escorts of Kano Mutebutsi,
barabahagarika,
they stopped them.
bababaza impamvu banyuza ibintu fraude.
They asked the reason why you're passing beneath the border.
batanga udufaranga,
They bribed.
baramanuka.
They
Ngo
continued.
bagere ku mazi bahasanga hari abasirikari boherejwe na Biola ariko babaga muri Kansayo.
When they reached on the lake, they found soldiers sent by Nawela who stayed in Kansayo.
babasaba amafaranga
They asked them
kugira
for money
ngo babambutse.
for them to cross over.
Abandi bati twayatanze haruguru aho.
Others said, we've given in previously.
Bati hari abasirikari baraho.
Are there soldiers?
Abandi bati rwose hari abasirikari tuyahaye.
They said, yes, we've given it to
Bafata
some soldiers.
abasirikari batandatu
They took 6 soldiers.
baja kurwanya gufunga babandi b'Abanyamulenge.
They went to imprison the Banyamulenge soldiers.
Umuhungu w'Imasisi n'umuhungu w'Umunyamulenge.
The boy from Masisi and another
Baraza
from
bageze
Mulenge.
ku nzu y'umugabo w'abadahurwa witwa Ruhara.
When they reached Ruhara's residence,
Abo bahungu barababona.
they saw the young men.
Ngo bababone
When they saw them,
barahunga.
they ran.
Umwe arahunga, uwo muhungu w'Umunyamulenge arahunga we aja kuri Somenke aho bari batuye.
One went to their residence
Undi baramufata.
and they captured the other.
Baramumanukana rero ahandi bari ku mazi.
They took him to the lake.
Wa undi wahunze aragenda abwira Captain Kagigi niwe wari uhari.
The one who
Somenke,
escaped went and told Captain Kagigi.
abamubwira kuko abo bafunze wa muhungu nyine w'Umunyamasisi.
They told him that they have imprisoned our soldier.
Kagigi araza
So Kagigi came
n'abandi basirikari
and the other soldiers.
baraza ngo bashike kuri ba basirikari bo kwa Nabiola.
When they reached Nabiola's soldiers,
Babasaba wa musore.
they asked them to give the young
Bati
man.
nimba ari amafaranga mushaka turanayabaha.
If there is money you need, we will pay.
Ayo muvuga yatse bari Abanyarwanda turayabaha.
We will pay the amount Rwandan women denied to give you.
Baranga.
They refused.
Batangira kurasa.
They
Ndetse
started
batangira
shooting.
kurasa hejuru y'abasirikari bacu bakagigi nyine.
They started shooting
Kugira ngo babatere
above
ubwoba.
the soldiers of Kagigi for them to make them
Ubwo
afraid.
rero nibwo intambara yatangiye.
That is the spark
Hari
of the
saa
war.
11 n'igice.
It was in the evening, 5:30 p.m.
Twebwe twari tuvuye mu kazi general Imuhumba kuko inguba nta buryo abantu bahageraga.
There is nowhere to reach Nguba. I
Intambara
stayed in that
iraba
place.
muri uwo mugoroba.
So the war broke out
Uraca
in the evening.
kuri 25
And the next day, 25th,
abasirikare Mutebutsi yari afite abasirikare bake cyane batarenze ijana.
Kano had few soldiers who were below 100,
Batageze no kwijana.
not even reaching
Bari
100.
60 naho.
They were 60 plus.
Bararwana bararuha.
They fought and got tired.
Ubwo rero aho kugira ngo abasirikare barwane n'abandi basirikare,
For soldiers to fight themselves,
abasivili abasirikare bandi
the civilians and other soldiers,
batangira rero kwirara mu Banyamulenge.
so they started attacking the civilians.
Ico gihe
Banyamulenge.
bishe abana babaga kwa Gatimbirizo kuri Rabote
That's when they killed children who were at Gatimbirizo's
n'abandi
home
bari kuri Rabote benshi baba etudiant
and other students at Abacu.
barazamuka bica Inyawera.
They killed people in Nyawera.
No, ariko ntibagera Inguba.
They didn't reach Nguba.
Monisco yahisiza kuri place Mulamba.
So UNESCO came at place Mulamba
Abarishira Dikota
and pressed an
Red
helicopter,
Broker, sorry.
a roadblock,
Ntibamanukanga ngo baze bagera Inguba.
and soldiers didn't reach Nguba.
Ariko abari hari ruhande rwo haruguru Nyawera,
Soldiers
Rabote,
from Nyawera, both and other
presque
places,
bose barabishe.
they were all killed.
Abacitse ku icumu ni abahungiraga Imuhumba n'abahungiye Inguba.
So the survivors could run to Nguba and other
Habaye
places.
nimugoroba.
So in the evening,
Rero uwo munsi nyine nibwo bishe abantu bo muri Kansayo. Hari quartier imwe shasha yabaga Kansayo.
that is when they killed people in Kansayo in a new locality.
Ubwo basangaga abadamu
That's when they found women.
bakaza babashita mbese babashiramwe imishito nk'imishito cyangwa se inkoni mu ndibyara byakunaniye ntabwo biba mu Cyongereza. Ubwo rero nibwo abantu bapfuye hariya muri Kansayo no muri quartier nshasha.
That is when people
abandi barahunga
and others ran away.
harimo umugore wa murumuna wa Bishop François.
There is a wife to the young brother of Bishop Francis.
Yacitse ku icumu ariko bamaze kumwica nabi hariya nyine muri Kansayo.
Is a survivor from Kansayo.
N'abandi
And others and others.
uwo munsi kuri 25 turahunga duhungira Cyangugu.
So on 25th we ran to Cyangugu.
Twagize icyumweru kimwe gusa abo ibuvira nabo barahunga bava ibuvira bahungira mu Gatumba.
So we spent a week in Cyangugu and those in Uvira ran to Gatumba.
Hari umaze kutubwiriza ubu nyine
The preacher who has preached now,
yavuze ngo bari bateguye kuturangiza cyangwa se kutwica kudukorera genocide mbere.
they had prepared to exterminate and carry genocide against
Uwo
us.
munsi byaje gushirwa mu bikorwa ariko barabiteguye mbere.
On that day it was fulfilled, but the preparations were
Kubera kuko
earlier.
mu mategeko ya UN ntabwo impunzi bazishira ku mupaka w'igihugu bavuyemo.
Because according to the UN Charter, refugees are not pressed under or near the border of their country of origin.
Bahunze
When they escaped UN,
leta y'u Burundi,
the government of Burundi,
baragenda babashira mu Gatumba.
they settled them in Gatumba, near the border of DRC, from their country of origin.
Itariki 14 nabwo 13 z'ukwezi kwa munane
on 13th of August
bakora genocide nk'uko bayiteguye.
They did the genocide as they had prepared.
Hapfa abantu abatugiye kubasomera.
People died, the ones we are going to read for you.
Mwumve amazina yabo.
For you to hear their names.
Nimumara kumva amazina yabo turabaheza na filime kugira ngo muyirebe uko mukurikirana uko byagenze.
After listening to their names, we will show you a documentary of how it was.
Niturangiza gukurikirana iyo filime turaza kubabwira ibindi bikurikira.
After following the movie or the documentary, we will tell you what next.
Reka twihanganishe.
Let us condole
abacitse ku icumu.
The survivors.
Yo mu Bibogobogo.
Of Bibogobogo.
Yo mu Gatumba.
Gatumba.
Bukavu.
And Bukavu.
Reka mpamagare aba bagabo baraha imbere bano bari hano kugira ngo baze babasomere amazina y'abantu baguye mu Gatumba.
Of people who died in Gatumba.
Ibindi turaja kubivuga nyuma.
We shall tell you what to do next.
Reka tubagezeho amazina y'abantu baguye muri iyo genocide yakorewe mu Gatumba.
Let us read for you the names of people who died in the genocide of Gatumba.
Tuvuga umukuru wa famille n'abantu bari muri iyo famille.
We will be mentioning the head of the family and people under him.
Imyaka bari bafite ndetse n'uburyo bapfuye.
The years they had and the way they were killed.
Famille Minyati.
The family of Minyati.
Yarimwo Faustin Minyati w'imyaka 56 yishwe arashwe.
He was shot.
Kadafi Minyati yari afite imyaka 20 nawe yararashwe.
He was also shot.
Merewe neza Minyati w'imyaka 18 nawe yararashwe.
He was also shot.
Nyanome Minyati w'imyaka 10 nawe yararashwe.
Of 10 years was also shot.
Famille ya Rutekereza.
The family of Rutekereza.
Yarimo Jacques Rutekereza w'imyaka 50 yarishwe arashwe ndetse aratwikwa. Mushambaro Rutekereza w'imyaka 18 nawe yararashwe. Igira neza Rutekereza w'imyaka 16 yararashwe ndetse aratwikwa. Nyamasoso Rutekereza w'imyaka 12 yararashwe aranatwikwa. Ndatabaye Rutekereza w'imyaka 9 yararashwe aratwikwa. Nyazahabu Rutekereza w'imyaka 6 nawe yararashwe aratwikwa. Nyamuryango Rutekereza w'imyaka 4 nawe yararashwe aranatwikwa. Famille ya Gasosi yarimo Gasosi Eraste Byambu w'imyaka 50 yararashwe aranatwikwa. Perusi Gasosi w'imyaka 45 yararashwe aratwikwa. Nyahumure Gasosi w'imyaka 11 yararashwe aratwikwa. Bahoza Gasosi w'imyaka 9 yararashwe aranatwikwa. Debora Gasosi w'imyaka 4 yararashwe aratwikwa. Famille ya Nyamusore yaririmo Nyamusore Karaha imyaka 35 yararashwe. Debora Nyamusore imyaka 32 yararashwe. Ntarutwa Nyamusore 13 nawe yararashwe. Kayonga Nyamusore 11 yararashwe. Ngezayo Nyamusore imyaka 9 nawe yararashwe. Bebe Nyamusore w'amezi 5 nawe yararashwe. Famille ya Rukamirwa yaririmo Oze Rukamirwa imyaka 50 yararashwe aranatwikwa. Marciana Rukamirwa imyaka 47 yararashwe aratwikwa. Bisetsa Rukamirwa imyaka 20 yararashwe nawe aratwikwa. Famille ya Hayizuru yarimo Fille Hayizuru imyaka 3 yararashwe. Felix Hayizuru umwaka umwe nawe yararashwe. Hanyuma famille ya Gatoni yarimo Mugotwa Gatoni 35 yararashwe. Nyabyiza Gatoni w'imyaka 8 yararashwe. Debora Gatoni w'imyaka 4 yararashwe. Eme Gatoni w'imyaka 4 nawe yararashwe. Famiye Muhimuzi yarimwo Elias Muhimuzi imyaka 35 yaratwitswe. Munoni Muhimuzi imyaka 12 yararashwe, yaratwitswe. Merewe neza Muhimuzi w'imyaka 8 yaratwitswe. Famiye Shemu Marciana Shemu imyaka 37 yararashwe. Esperance Shemu imyaka 6 yararashwe. Jeremy Shemu imyaka 2 yararashwe. Famiye Shoni yarimwo Masigabona Shoni imyaka 35 yararashwe. Nyakiza Shoni imyaka 32 nawe yararashwe. Musa Shoni w'imyaka 10 nawe yararashwe. Na Amani Shoni w'imyaka 7 nawe yararashwe. Reka twakire kurikiraho nawe tubwira abandi bapfuye.
Famiye Kasa Nyahoza Kasa w'imyaka 36 yishwe na grenade. Ziraje Kasa wari ufite imyaka 13 yishwe na grenade. Janete wari ufite imyaka 10 yishwe na grenade. Yvonne Kasa wari ufite imyaka 3 yishwe na grenade. Bebe Kasa wari ufite amezi 3 yishwe na grenade. Famiye Bahati Thomas Bahati wari ufite imyaka 49 yaratwitswe. Eric Bitati wari ufite imyaka 10 yaratwitswe. Dudu Bitati wari ufite imyaka 13 yaratwitswe. Famiye Zaroti Nyahoza Zaroti wari ufite imyaka 26 yaratwitswe ndetse yararashwe. Bebe Zaroti wari ufite amezi 9 yaratwitswe aranaraswa. Famiye Kanyabitabo Obadiya Kanyabitabo wari ufite imyaka 48 yararashwe. Neza Kanyabitabo wari ufite imyaka 13 yararashwe. Famiye Musafiri Hoga Chantal Musafiri Hoga wari ufite imyaka 13 yararashwe. Nyamugisha Hoga wari ufite imyaka 11 yararashwe. Patience Musafiri wari ufite imyaka 4 yararashwe. Famiye Gapingi Nyabihogo Gapingi wari ufite imyaka 29 yararashwe. Claude Gapingi wari ufite imyaka 4 yishwe bamutemaguye. Giselle Gapingi wari ufite imyaka 2 yishwe bamutemaguye. Famiye Musafiri Lydia Musafiri wari ufite imyaka 16 yararashwe. Samuel Musafiri wari ufite imyaka 9 yararashwe. Famiye Mandevu Lea Mandevu wari ufite imyaka 53 yararashwe. Muhorana Mandevu wari ufite imyaka 32 yararashwe. Famiye Butoto Cece Butoto wari ufite imyaka 24 yararashwe. Fiston Butoto wari ufite imyaka 4 yararashwe. Mupenzi Butoto wari ufite imyaka 2 yararashwe. Famiye Mahinga Munezero Muhire wari ufite imyaka 18 yararashwe. Nyabyinshi Muhire wari ufite imyaka 15 yararashwe. Famiye Mukwiye Uzia Gashindi Mukwiye wari ufite imyaka 54 yararashwe. Dando Mukwiye wari ufite 16 yaratwitswe. Lycée Mukwiye wari ufite imyaka 9 yararashwe. Daniel Mukwiye wari ufite imyaka 3 yararashwe. Miye Gaturuturu Zera Gaturuturu wari ufite imyaka 42 yararashwe ndetse aratwikwa. Tantine Gaturuturu wari ufite imyaka 12 yararashwe aranatwikwa. Famiye Mugabe Yohana Nyabahinga Mugabe wari ufite imyaka 38 yararashwe. Nyabirori Mugabe wari ufite imyaka 25 yararashwe. Fiye Mugabe wari ufite imyaka 11 yararashwe. Beya Mugabe wari ufite imyaka 2 yararashwe. Famiye Rukungugu Claude Nzabakiza Rukungugu wari ufite imyaka 26 yararashwe aranatwikwa. Nyagazura Aime Rukungugu wari ufite imyaka 22 yararashwe aranatwikwa. Muhuza Felix Rukungugu wari ufite imyaka 13 yarashashwe ndetse aranatwikwa. Full term bebe w'imyaka 13 yararashwe aranatwikwa.
Famille Sebahire Murekatete Sebahire yarafite imyaka 30 yararashwe. Patrick Sebahire yarafite imyaka 5 yararashwe. Kadada Sebahire yarafite imyaka 3 yararashwe. Famille Muyengeza Nyarukundo Muyengeza yarafite imyaka 32 yararashwe. Famille Muyengeza Rusengo yarafite imyaka 8 yararashwe. Musore Muyengeza yarafite imyaka 6 yararashwe. Famille Maniragaba Bukuru Maniragaba yarafite imyaka 30 yararashwe. Ndayisenga Maniragaba yarafite imyaka 7 yararashwe. Ange Maniragaba yarafite imyaka 3 yararashwe. Famille Ntwari Pauline Ntwari yarafite imyaka 33 yararashwe. Jeanne Ntwari yarafite imyaka 5 yararashwe. Famille Gishoma Asikofu Gishoma yarafite imyaka 16 yararashwe. Kunda Gishoma yarafite imyaka 8 yararashwe. Famille Biguge Rumanzi Biguge Fabien yarafite imyaka 46 yararashwe aratwikwa. Inosa Biguge warafite imyaka 6 yararashwe aratwikwa. Didier Biguge yarafite imyaka 4 yararashwe aratwikwa. Famille Runezerwa Mukarurwiza Runezerwa yarafite imyaka 35 yararashwe. Bose Runezerwa yarafite imyaka 10 yararashwe. Biju Runezerwa yarafite imyaka 3 yararashwe. Famille Muvange Simeo Runezerwa Muvange yarafite imyaka 44 yararashwe. Edouard Muvange yarafite imyaka 1 yararashwe. Mama Muvange yarafite imyaka 70 yararashwe. Famille Marongo Kagigi Zera Marongo yarafite imyaka 80 yararashwe. Nyambo Marongo yarafite imyaka 25 yararashwe aratemagugwa. Jeanne Marongo yarafite imyaka 4 yararashwe aratemagugwa. Shatse Marongo yarafite imyaka 3 yararashwe aratemagurwa. Famille Serugarukira Nyabitanga Serugarukira yarafite imyaka 26 yararashwe. Nyantebuka Serugarukira yarafite imyaka 22 yararashwe. Famille Runagana Manase Runagana wari ufite imyaka 37 yaratwitswe. Gatarena Runagana yarafite imyaka 35 yaratwitswe. Mukobwa Runagana yarafite imyaka 2 yaratwitswe. Famille Gasungunu Toni Gasungunu yarafite imyaka Tonia Gasungunu yarafite imyaka 35 yaratwitswe araraswa. David Gasungunu yarafite imyaka 3 yaratwitswe aranaraswa. Famille Ngakazi Inyasi Ngakazi yarafite imyaka 38 yaratwitswe. Emmanuel Ngakazi yarafite imyaka 8 yararashwe. Daniel Ngakazi yarafite imyaka 6 yararashwe. Famille Kalala Nakiza Kalala Nezia yarafite imyaka 43 yararashwe. Ngwabi Kalala yarafite imyaka 18 yararashwe. Famille Ngirabakunzi Nyagakobwa Ngirabakunzi yarafite imyaka 22 yararashwe. Robert Bebe Ngirabakunzi w'amezi 2 yararashwe. Famille Gasore Bunana yarafite imyaka 28 yararashwe. Mukunde Gasore yarafite imyaka 2.
Famille Munyakuri Debora Mukogwajana Munyakuri wari ufite imyaka 6 yararashwe. Famille Rugeza Jeannette Murora Isaac wari ufite imyaka 20 yararashwe. Famille Ndagiro Odia Ndagiro wari ufite imyaka 38 yararashwe. Famiye Gahakanyi Mado Gahakanyi wari ufite imyaka 25 yararashwe. Famiye Gafita Nyamubyeyi Gafita wari ufite imyaka 55 yararashwe. Famiye Zuzi Nyamunezero Zuzi wari ufite imyaka 11 yararashwe. Famiye Ruganza Kaje Ruganza wari ufite imyaka 16 yararashwe. Famiye Muzuri Ndayishimiye Muzuri wari ufite imyaka 25 yararashwe. Famiye Rushaga Nyamajana Rushaga wari ufite imyaka 47 yararashwe. Famiye Rugabo Nyangore Rugabo wari ufite imyaka 12 yararashwe. Famiye Kazingo Bizimana Kazingo wari ufite imyaka 26 yararashwe. Famiye Seruhungu Nyamatungo Seruhungu wari ufite imyaka 41 yararashwe. Famiye Ndakanirwa Andre Ndakanirwa wari ufite imyaka 78 baramutwitse yishwe na tension. Rushemuka Ngombe Rushemuka wari ufite imyaka 54 yararashwe. Famiye Bizimana Kazingo Bizimana wari ufite imyaka 25 yararashwe. Famiye Nzungu Michel Nzungu wari ufite imyaka 9 yararashwe. Famiye Rusekeza Gikwerere Rusekeza wari ufite imyaka 20 yararashwe. Famiye Nyandonesha wari ufite imyaka 22 yararashwe. Famiye Ruhumuriza Nyakirindo Ruhumuriza wari ufite imyaka 24 yararashwe. Famiye Binyonyo Afande Binyonyo wari ufite imyaka 5 yararashwe. Famiye Semuhoza Chisekedi Rwigema Semuhoza wari ufite imyaka 13 yararashwe. Famiye Ndasarara Mugiraneza Ndasarara wari ufite imyaka 17 yararashwe. Famiye Rwibagiza Espoir Rwibagiza wari ufite imyaka 12 yararashwe. Famiye Michel Zikama Murorunkweri Michel Zikama wari ufite imyaka 26 yararashwe. Famiye Semo Gazanya Nitanga Semo Gazanya wari ufite imyaka 27 yararashwe. Famiye Sekabumba Rodrigue Niyonkuru Sekabumba wari ufite imyaka 6 yararashwe. Famiye Nyapamba abana Bembe biciwe muri Genocide yakorewe Abanyamulenge mu Gatumba. Hariho famiye Nyapamba Sadi Nyapamba wari ufite imyaka 4 yararashwe. Hari Bahati Nyapamba wari ufite imyaka 16 yararashwe. Famiye Rulinda Abwe Paul Rulinda wari ufite imyaka 44 baramurashe. Delphine Biamoeneo wari ufite imyaka 4 baramurashe. Famiye Batubula Regine Batubula wari ufite imyaka 18 yararashwe. Famiye Aochi Leoni Aochi wari ufite imyaka 2 yararashwe. Famiye Bokeori Asukulu Bokeel wari ufite imyaka 24 yararashwe. Famiye Belechi Echa Belechi wari ufite imyaka 26 yararashwe. Famiye Walukele Walukele wari ufite imyaka 32 yararashwe. Famiye Mambo Angalisho Mambo wari ufite imyaka 36 yararashwe. Famiye Samuali Evariste Sumali wari ufite imyaka 22 yararashwe. Famiye Kiza Janet Kiza wari ufite imyaka 31 yararashwe. Famiye Wisumbelo Isumbelo wari ufite imyaka 34 yararashwe. Famiye Ndalo na Limenge Ndalo wari ufite imyaka 20 yararashwe. Abo nibo, iyi niyo liste y'abantu bakoreye genocide mu Gatumba. Rero tugiye kureba document.
Nyiriwe reka nanjye nongere mbasabe kwihangana muri ibi bihe bitoroshe tunyuzemo imyaka myinshi, ibihe bibabaje kandi bigoye kumva no gutahura. Hari ibihe abantu banyuramo bikabaplonja muri confusion, abantu bakabura icyo bavuga n'icyo bakora. So kubw'uyu munsi rero kwibuka ku nshuro ya 21 inzirakarengane bene wacu, bavandimwe, inshuti, abavyeyi, abana bacu bazize urupfu rw'agashinyaguro muri Republika y'u Burundi, ngo mwihangane cyane. Ndumva ari ibyo ngibyo navuga mu kiganiro mvuga mu minota mike, ndagerageza guhina. Ndavuga kwibuka abacu, dusaba ubutabera kandi turwanya ihakana n'ipfobya rya genocide ikorerwa Abanyamulenge mu buryo bwihariye, ariko igakorerwa n'abatutsi mu buryo rusange muri Republika Iharanira Demokarasi ya Kongo. Ntaratera imbere ngo mvuge gakeya icyo ntekereza kuvuga mu minota mike. Muri presentation yanje ndashaka kumvikanisha mu magambo make genocide niki. Hari abantu bavuga genocide bakayiririmba bakayivuga uko batekereza, ariko hari ibindi byaha bisa nayo Abanyamulenge ndetse n'inshuti zabo bakwiye kuba batandukanya izo concept, bakazumva ko zitandukanye. Kubera iki? Kubera ko hari abantu bitwa ngo ni abanegationiste. Uko tuvuga ngo twakorewe genocide, bo bafite izindi nyito bavuga bashaka kuzita ibintu bisanzwe bikirize. Ari nayo mpamvu rero abantu bicaye hano cyangwa se n'isi yose ikwiriye kumva concept genocide niki. Nzi ko hari abantu bayikoresha mu buryo butari bwo, ariko ndaganisha kuri demonstration nerekana ngo se ibibazo Abanyamulenge baciyemo, hari ibya Gatumba, hari iby'iwacu mu Bibogobogo n'ibindi. Ese koko ni genocide? Cyo nicyo kintu cyambere nshaka kudemontra. Icya kabiri, ndareba problematike y'ubutabera, ubutabera zakozwe kuko inyuma y'imyaka 21 nta justice tubona. Ariko tukagendera kuri principe ya droit y'amategeko ivuga ngo une règle de droit n'est pas toujours une règle de justice. Kubera ko buriya hari droit k'ibitabo dusoma twize nk'abanyamategeko bayize, ariko akaba na justice. Izo notion zibiri nazo ziratandukanye, ngira ngo nazo nizo zitera ibibazo tugenda tunyuramo. Ariko reka nihuse, wenda twavuga notion ya CPI, Cour pénale internationale, n'inkiko zifite ububasha bwo kuba zaturenganura cyangwa se zaca runo rubanza. Ahangaha turareba principalement aho icyaha cyakorewe ni Burundi, abakorewe icyaha ni bande? Ni Abanyekongo b'Abanyamulenge, hanyuma bari mu maboko yande? Bari mu maboko ya Nations Unies cyangwa se UNHCR. Donc izo notion zitatu uzivanze niho ukura competence y'urukiko. Urukiko rushobora kwakira kino kibazo rukaduha ubutabera. Ngira ngo izo nizo notion zitatu mvugaho mu minota mike, ariko ntarambiranye kugira ngo twihute. Genocide ntabwo ari ijambo rya none cyangwa ryo mu myaka mike ishize. Ni Abafaransa bavuga c'est un concept, ntabwo ari yejo, ni mazimisi. Kubera ko ryakoreshejwe ubwa mbere, sinzi niba turi kumvikana. Iri jambo ryakoreshejwe ubwa mbere n'umunyamategeko w'umupolone wo muri Pologne witwa ngo ni Lambikin, ariko nawe yarabihereye ku bwicanyi budasanzwe bwari bwabaye mu gihugu cyabo bukozwe n'Abalma, biyo bita ngo ni Allemand nazi mu gihugu kimwe 1948. Nico gihe rino jambo yarikoresheje bwa mbere, ashaka nawe yari mu bihe kibi ngibi nakwe turi gucamo, abona ubwicanyi budasanzwe, aravuga ati se bino bintu biritwa iki? Alors nk'umuntu wari ubabajwe yari umunyamerika ukomoka muri Pologne nk'umuntu wari ubabajwe n'ico kintu mu gitabo cyo yanditse nibwo yisanze yashizemo yagishiyemo iyo concept genocide naho rihera genocide. Hanyuma rero ico bita convention ya Nations Unies ndabivuga mu Gifaransa kuko n'ubundi biragoye kubivuga mu rurimi rwacu ariko ndabisobanura n'ubundi bahereye kuri uyu mugabo wari umaze gukora mu bushakashatsi. Nations Unies iravuga ati no reka dukora icyo twita ngo ni convention pour la prévention et la répression des crimes de génocide. Bivuze iki? Baravuga ati duhereye kuri ubushakashatsi reka dushireho urwego ruzajya rurinda isi ndetse rugahana ibyaha bikomoka kuri genocide. Niyo mpamvu abanyamategeko benshi bagaragaza definition nyinshi za genocide ariko reka mvuga iyi ngiyi ibyo bita definition juridique, definition y'abanyamategeko ndetse iva muri Nations Unies tugenderaho isigenderaho kugeza none. Genocide bayitiki baravuga ngo ijambo ry'ingezi dukwiye kumva muri genocide ni iki? Harimo intention, harimo ubushake, intention de détruire. Mureke kurangarira uyu mugabo. Harimo ubushake, reka mbivuge mu Kinyamulenge. Kugira ngo genocide yitwe genocide nuko abayikoze baba bafite ubushake, intention yo kurimbura abantu, kategori y'abantu bose cyangwa ini parti yabo bakayirimbura bakayikuraho kubera ubugome baba bafitiye abo bantu. Abo bantu rero nabaye bashobora kurimburwa ni groupe y'abantu national bashobora kubatereka turimbura abantu ntamoko yo muri iki gihugu akuba ati turimbura ubwoko bumwe bakabusibla bakavuga ngo tuburimbure. Icya kabiri bashobora kugendera kuri race y'abantu. Icya gatatu bashobora kugendera kuri ethnie yaba. Ariko biraza kungora ariko tuzi Faransa. Tu parles français? Oya sinsobanura gatatu ariko tujane reka tugerageze. Okay. Reka tujane gahoro. So abo bantu rero reka tugerageze kugenekereza tujane nta kibazo.
So let us try and move.
Abo bantu nabo ngabo n'ubwoko ni ethnie.
Those people are the ethnicity.
Bashobora kuba ari abantu nk'idini bashobora kubatereka twica barokore.
They might be following the religion line.
Nizo ngibyo.
They are those.
Abo bantu rero bakaba aribo bagambiriwe kwica. Icyo shaka kuvuga ni intention n'uwo mugambi n'ubwo bushake bwo kurimbura abo bantu.
It is the intention to exterminate those people.
Iyo niyo element nini muri genocide.
That is a huge element in genocide.
Hanyuma rero icya kabiri.
Secondly,
kugira ngo yemerwe nanone yumvikane.
To be accepted,
nuko
it is for
abayikoze baba bafite amategeko bishe.
Those who acted it be having laws they violated.
Icyo bita element legal. Element legal dukomeze. Icya kabiri.
Secondly,
hakwiriye kuba abantu bagizweho ingaruka n'ivyo bintu abantu bapfuye.
There has to be victims of the genocide.
Iyo ni element materiel.
That is the second thing.
Hakaba noneho kandi twavuze ubushake noneho bwo kubica.
So another thing is the intention to exterminate those people.
Icyo bita element moral.
The moral element.
Izo element zitatu imwe iba ibonetse.
When one moral of the above is seen,
genocide iba yamaze kugira ishusho yayo.
Now the genocide has gotten an image.
Ariko
but
genocide
ntabwo
ari ikintu abantu bavuka mu gitondo ngo bahite bayikora.
It is not something people wake up in the morning and do.
Hazamwo element yo gutegura.
There is an element of preparations.
Irategurwa ndetse igihe kirekire.
It is prepared for a long while.
Ndetse hakaza n'ama strategy yo kwishira mu bikorwa neza.
And there comes strategies to fulfill it.
Ndetse igasaba n'ubushobozi bw'amafaranga.
It needs financial capability.
Ariyo mpamvu bigoye ko genocide yashoboka hatarimo leta.
That's why it is difficult for a genocide to be called so when there is no government intervention. Let us take it like that. So in the preparations of the genocide, we see the chronology of how genocide is prepared. The first step, are we together? When someone is preparing genocide, there are steps they follow to reach their mission. The first, it is classification. Classification. What is classification? It is the way in our home country, DRC, Anciently, they minimized us and called us Rwandese. But right now, if you read on the medias of DRC, that nomenclature changed. It is, hey, you Tutsis, Tutsis, Tutsis. Do you know the reason? They found saying Rwandese in general, which is, it is not. They found the Bantus that they have the same plan together. Let us remove the Hutus. Now they change it to hey Tutsis. Tutsis. Check, it is the same way they are doing today. It is a context of Congolese they use. It is a classification point to classify people. Second, it is symbolization. Here, they follow the skin tones. People with long, sharp-pointed nose, tall people. Specific identifications basing on the statistic or looking upon people. Third, it is discrimination. The war that is affecting us to the end in DRC, even genocide starts from discrimination. In DRC, Banyamulenge has no problem of nationality. No. We have no problem of nationality in DRC. But right now, the ones killing us, they kill us in a context of naming us foreigners, Rwandese. It is amazing. That's how they do it. Where we are not supposed to cross some lines, because if you reach there, you can be killed immediately. I will go deep. The fourth, it is dehumanization. It is that. Here, we are seeing steps of genocide. They are on a step now. They take a person as a thing. The genocide against the Tutsis of Rwanda, they could call them cockroaches, they could call them snakes, and other names. Our home, Banyamulenge, this step of dehumanization, it is vividly seen. Are we together? Where you get a person's meat, and you burn, you roast, put salt and chili, and you eat it. You eat. So that is not only evil. It is an philosophical ideology. The ones doing it want to show it the world. These are not people. They are not people. We can even eat them. They are like cows and other hens. So it is a person becoming a thing. Dehumanization. The fifth, there is organization. Now we are putting into actions. Wow, we see militia. That's where we see the Wazalendos. It is the militia that was supported by the government. They put a law, they drafted a law to support it, for it to be protected under the umbrella of the law, with a plan of exterminating us. It is, and the coalitions are there. If they are the foreign armies. So in our home there came coalitions of a lot of armies with a mission of exterminating us. The fifth,
polarisation.
It is
polarisation.
Polarization. It is the propaganda to dehumanize us. The one of taking away our nationality with different propagandas.
Preparation.
The preparation.
Muri preparation rero iho birumvikana ntitwatinda.
In preparation we won't delay.
Akazamwo persecution.
There is persecution.
Reka mvuge kuri persecution gato.
Let me mention briefly about persecution.
Persecution ajya niko mu Kinyamulenge. Persecution.
Persecution.
Nuku
Ugutoteza.
Nugutoteza. Persecution, nugutoteza.
Persecution.
Mushora kwibaza.
You might ask yourself
ukuntu
how
mu Minembwe
in Minembwe
cyangwa iwacu muri yo plateau muri rusange
or in the high plateaus
kuva 2017
from 2017
tudafite access ku biryo.
We have no access to food,
tidufite access ku mazi,
on water,
tidufite access ku bitaro,
on medication.
Turahandu mukamina.
We are somewhere in a valley.
Urenze wo kwishwa gato.
If you go beyond, you can be killed.
Uko nugutotweza ko mugogo go hejuru.
That is high persecution.
Ikindi
the next.
Muribuka bibazo by'abadamu babaye mitile baciwe ibihimba niko babyitangira.
Yes, you remember the ladies who are mutilated,
gutesha agaciro abantu,
devaluing people,
kwandagaza,
making them scatter.
Aho ngaho genocide ibiri hafi.
Now the genocide is close.
Nubwo iparcours yose nayo ari elements iko.
So these are the elements of preparations.
Tugeze kuri extermination.
We are now on extermination.
Aha ngaha
here
tugendera ku rugero rwa Gatumba.
We follow an example of Gatumba.
Aha ngaha ni commencement d'exécution. Batangiye no
the commencement of the execution.
Aho simbisubiramo ngo mbitindemo.
I want to repeat.
Icyacumi,
the 10th,
ni denial.
Denial.
Iyo ikikwereka ko genocide itegurwa neza.
What shows that genocide had been prepared well?
Uko bayitegura,
it is the way they prepare it.
Niko ba setting na strategy zo kuzayihakana.
It is to set the strategies of denying it. They work together.
Muri genocide zose zabaye kwisi.
On all genocides that
took
place,
Rwanda, hari abantu bazana inyigisho za double genocide.
They bring the ideologies of double genocide.
Bakazana inyigisho ko ntabwo ari genocide yabaye yasibiraga abatutsi ahubwo
it wasn't against the Tutsis.
Ni ndambara y'amoko.
But it was a war of tribes, tribal war.
Ni wacu niko byageze ejo bundi mwarumvishe president wa republika avuga ngo ni ndambara y'aborozi n'aba.
It is the same way that is a war
donc
between
c'est une façon de minimiser. Ni uburyo bwo kuminimiza igikorwa cyabaye.
It is a way of minimizing an action.
Ariko badashaka ko byitwa genocide.
But in this case of not willing it to be called genocide. It is called genocide. It has its own effects. The countries do face. So justice. Justice. You know our brothers were killed in Burundi.
Ni abantu bazi urukiko mpuzamahanga rwitwa CPI.
You know the International Criminal Court.
Ariko muri mechanism uko rukora,
in its mechanism,
ntabwo rwiyempoza ku nkiko zo mu gihugu.
They don't link up with the courts of the national courts.
Hari cyamategeko yita ngo ni statut de Rome.
There is the Statute of Rome.
Ni ibihugu byasinya amasezerano na CPI.
It is the countries that send covenants or agreements with you. We will be working together.
Burundi rero.
So in Burundi,
ejo bundi muri 2015,
recently in 2017,
bakoze ivyo bita retrait muri CPI.
They are in
bikuye muri CPI.
They withdrew from the International Criminal Court.
Kubera ko muri 2015 hari abaye ibyaha mu Burundi CPI shaka kuzinjiramo.
In 2015 there are sins in Burundi committed atrocities.
Muri mesures za prudence baravuga ati twe twifiriyemo.
They said for us we have withdrawn.
Abo bantu rero bavuye muri CPI.
So when we have withdrawn from that court,
biragoye gutekereza ko baduha batangira procedure z'ubutabera.
It is very hard for them to start the procedures of giving us justice.
So izo mechanism rero ziragoye.
So those mechanisms are hard.
Kubera ko hazamo manje politique.
There are political things.
Hazamo za protections abantu babo bari abagato.
The protections of the perpetrators.
Nyamara ryategeko rya convention twavuze ya Nations Unies
and the convention of the United Nations.
Birasobanura neza ko abantu nubwo wabura umunyapolitike ku rwego rukomeye.
Though you are a great politician,
ugomba kuja mu nkiko ukaburana kuzawakoze.
You have to face the law for the sins and atrocities you committed.
muri tegeko rya convention ndagana ku musozo please munyihanganire.
The law of the convention,
mu ngingo yaryo munyemere mbasomere zino ngingo nka zibiri.
Allow me read for you these articles
kugira ngo ngane ku musozo.
As I wind up.
Reka nsome gato ya mu Gifaransa hanyuma abantu bumve. Mu ngingo yayo muri article 2 iravuga ngo dans la présente convention les génocides s'entend de l'un quelconque des actes ci-après commis dans l'intention de détruire ou tout en partie un groupe national, ethnique, racial, religieux comme tel. Non, bakavuga ngo meurtre des membres du groupe. Kwica abantu bagize groupe y'abantu. Abo ni twebwe.
Killing an ethnicity.
Tugenekereje tukabitranspose kuri twebwe. Atteinte grave à l'intégrité physique ou mentale des membres du groupe. Twebwe badukoreye babanje kutwangiriza mu mitwe. Buriya iyo bafata inka zacu zirenze zingana nka miliyoni.
When they loot our cows more than 1 million,
bakazinyaga.
And they loot them,
uko bazinyaze,
the way they loot,
niko batwika amazu.
It is the way they burn
niko
houses.
Batwika n'imyaka iri mu murima.
And they scorch the farmlands.
Niko batwika n'imyaka ihunitse.
It is the way they food stored is burnt.
Izo nizo realities iwacu.
Those are the realities of our home.
Babikoraga.
This is how they do it.
Ahangaha nda kindi kigamijwe.
There is no mission here then.
Barashaka gukuraho racine zacu.
They want to take
barashaka gukuraho racine zacu.
They want to take our roots away.
Noneho,
and then
twisanga turi abantu,
and we find ourselves
bapfuye mu mibiri no mu mitwe,
that are psychologically dead with no direction.
Izi nazo ni elements za genocide.
This is also the element of genocide.
Transfert forcé d'enfants du groupe à un autre groupe. Reka mbabwire kino gitangaza.
Let me tell you this.
Iwacu mu bibogobogo,
in my home in Bibogobogo,
muri 1996,
in 1996,
bafasha abana 146.
They took 146
children
of Banyamulenge,
babashira muri traffic muri Tanganyika.
And they took them to Tanganyika.
Babajana Tanzania.
They took them to Tanzania.
Kugeza none.
Until now.
Ini genocide.
This is a genocide.
Genocide tuitinzemo.
We have delayed in a genocide.
Genocide tuitinzemo.
We have delayed in it.
Ibi ni bitangaza.
These are amazing things.
N'ubu ngubu.
Even to date.
Aba bana,
these children,
abana bahinduriwe origin.
They changed their nationality and origin.
Bahinduriwe natire yabo.
Their nature was changed.
Ushaka kumva kino kintu.
You might listen this.
Abana 140.
The French speak, say,
mais la liberté ne se donne plus jamais.
Like that.
Liberté ntabwo itangwa ahubwo la liberté s'arrache.
Liberty is not given. No one is supposed to give you liberty. Instead, you fight for that liberty. Because the world wants to step onto people. And the person says, no, you won't step onto me, I will fight. So the atrocity of genocide, it doesn't get old. It doesn't get old. Though we have no justice today, we can believe that our grannies will ask for that justice. But the way it is to continue alarming with faith that we will get justice. All the laws that serve people in this way are there. The fundamental laws of people, the rights to live, the right to freedom. All those are the guarantees given by the world for people to sustain. But the world is quiet still. So brothers, I know well I've not lasted in their courts and whatever. But there is a time also, maybe in DRC, and the political system changes, and we have access to justice. Even in Burundi, it is possible. And the political system may change, and become favorable to our justice. It is amazing. How comes the United Nations is also quiet? How comes the UN is quiet? People screamed a lot, but the UN is silent. That is the world we live in.
katwizere ko tuzabona ubutabera
Let us believe maybe
kino
justice will
cyaha
be
kitazabura
administered. This sin won't rot,
ariko gusa
but
tugahagarara kuri rya jambo ryo kwirwanaho.
we stand on the other word of
Iriya ni ryo
self-defense.
rikuru nkurikije uko mbireba,
It is the big
kwirwanaho no kwihagararaho.
and more important, self-defense is the best
Komeze
option.
kwihangana kandi Imana ibahe umugisha.
Stay calm and I keep on condole you. May God bless you.
Avec nos autorités,
hamwe n'ubuyobozi bwacu
président Paul Odimba
turi kumwe na perezida Paul
et
Odimba
président William Kafindo Bugeme.
hamwe n'uwo William avuze.
Mes frères et sœurs, famille Andé, en ce moment de grande douleur, je vous dis que vous n'êtes pas seuls.
bavandimwe muri uyu mubabaro ukomeye
Nous partageons ensemble les peines de votre souffrance.
dusangiye imibabaro cyangwa se agahinda muri
Je suis
mibabaro.
profondément touché par le génocide de Gatumba qui a endeuillé la communauté Banyamulenge en 2004.
nakozweho cyane n'ubwishanyi bwa jenoside bwakorewe Abanyamulenge mu Gatumba mu 2004.
Que les victimes reposent en paix et que leurs familles trouvent la force de surmonter cette douleur.
imitima yabo iruhuke mu mahoro hanyuma imiryango nayo ibone ubutabera.
Puissions-nous œuvrer pour la justice, la paix et la réconciliation dans la région des Grands Lacs.
reka dushakishe ubutabera ndetse dushakishe n'umubano
À tous les survivants de la tragédie de Gatumba, à tous les survivants de la tragédie de Gatumba,
ku bacitse ku icumu bose bo mu Gatumba,
je vous adresse mes pensées les plus émues.
ndabagezaho ibitekerezo byanjye cyangwa se umubabaro uvuye ku mutima.
Que votre force et votre résilience soient une source d'inspiration.
yuko ibyabagezeho byose biba intangiriro yo kubaho cyangwa se yo guhumeka.
Puisse-vous trouver la paix et la guérison.
kugira ngo mubashe kubona amahoro ndetse n'ikire no gukira kw'imitima.
Et que vos voix continuent de porter l'espoir d'un avenir meilleur.
ndetse n'inzira zanyu cyangwa se ibyo mutekereza bishobora kuzabageza ku
Pour
byiringiro bizaza byiza.
Pour terminer,
mu kurangiza,
nous tous ici présents,
twese turi hano
étant congolais,
turi abakongomani,
la diaspora congolaise nous recommande, la diaspora congolaise en Uganda nous recommande
diaspora y'abakongomani mu gihugu cya Uganda iradusaba
l'unité,
ubumwe,
l'amour
urukundo
et le patriotisme pour notre pays, la RDC.
ndetse no gukunda igihugu cyacu cya Congo.
Que chacun de nous mette à côté ses intérêts privés.
buri muntu wese ashire ku ruhande
Mettons-nous
inyungu ze
ensemble
ku giti cye, twishire hamwe,
pour l'intérêt de notre pays, la RDC.
twishire hamwe ku bw'inyungu z'igihugu cyacu
Mettez-nous
Congo,
ensemble
twishire hamwe
pour des différentes difficultés que nous racontons ici en Ouganda.
mu bibazo bitandukanye duhura nabyo hano muri gihugu cya Uganda.
Que Dieu nous bénisse.
Imana iduhe umugisha,
Que Dieu bénisse la RDC.
Imana ihe umugisha Congo,
Que Dieu bénisse la communauté Banyamulenge.
Imana ihe umugisha
Je
ubwoko
dis et je vous
bw'Abanyamulenge.
remercie.
ndarangije kandi ndabashimiye.
Good evening.
ndabona abatumiwe benshi bataje.
I see the invited guests, most of them are not here.
birashoboka ko ari uburyo bwo kugira ngo ndeze gatoya iminiti bari bampaye.
Maybe it is possible for me to go beyond the minutes they had given me.
nyakubahwa perezida wa mutualite,
Your Excellency, the President of the Mutuality,
ba nyakubahwa bagize mutualite y'Abanyamulenge Kampala,
the honorables of the Banyamulenge community in Kampala,
ba nyakubahwa bagize fondation Gatumba,
the honorables of Gatumba Foundation,
inshuti zacu z'abavandimwe abandi bakongomani b'umutima,
our brotherly Congolese brothers at heart,
turabashimiye kuba mwaje aha hantu.
we thank you for your presence here.
amagambo menshi yavuzwe siyo dusubiramo.
A lot have been mentioned, we won't repeat.
tituja mu magambo yo kuvuga ngo ku minsi 13 n'ibindi byo.
We want to go on 13th of August, the other year, it has been mentioned.
mu gihe baduhaye kugira icyo tuvuga,
As they have given us to say something,
twasabye insanganyamatsiko y'uno munsi.
we requested for the theme of today.
batubwira amagambo atatu,
They told us 3 words.
rimwe ryavuze uzwe n'igibucamanza
One of justice has been mentioned,
kandi ryavuzwe neza.
and it has been well mentioned.
turashimira metero wabisobanuye hariya.
We thank the council who explained more about it. Again, we are happy to be with Council Zebede. Is among our organization of the lawyers who are following up this case. He has original news, knowing the barriers and knowing where they are today. But the ones who prepared didn't know that he is around. Thank you, brother, for being with us here today. In 2 words, I want to summarize. The reason to commemorate. Why do we keep on commemorating? The second word I'm to mention, it is the plan of the enemy that is being built by Kinshasa for them to deny this massacre. That game, its mission is, it is to make you the perpetrators, and the perpetrators be the innocent. Why are we supposed to commemorate? The ones denying the genocide, this we are in, they say, what is the use? And they say, there was no genocide. They are pulling you to things you're not understanding. Those are the things brought from Rwanda. Those are for the politicians near the border of Rwanda. But what I can ask you, was Kaminzobe a Rwandan? Major Kaminzobe, who was taken out of the car with his fellow soldiers, was he a Rwandan? And they killed when his fellow soldiers are there. And they roasted his body like barbecue and was eaten. And be done in Rweba. Not actually on the border with Rwanda. Those who did it, were they thinking that Kaminzobe was a Rwandi? These brothers of ours who are scattered all over the world, telling the world that there is no genocide being committed. It is just fake news. Always ask them the cause of Kaminzobe's death. Nayoberwa, they have shown here a businessman who was working for his family, who was in business. They caught and killed, and caught by the party in power in the province of Maniema, and was killed when the army is there, police is there, and the chief of the city is there, and they ate his meat, and they folded it in breads and ate it. When the camera is there. And this is how we are to do the rest. Does it need Rwanda to teach you that you're being killed? Don't we have physical evidence? Is it that there is no truth? But people move around the globe, sent by a discriminatory politics, being led by their stomachs. They go to the US and even reach France. And they say there is no genocide being prepared. And there is no even genocide committed here. And they deny of Gatumba genocide. Those people are there. Take time and talk to them. Ask them. Tell them. Instead of telling Habimana and Agatorwasa, I can begin with those people who know the whole truth. If you remember the day they had killed the people in Gatumba, I think on after 3 days or 4, In the BBC news, they are your brethren who announced it, and they're still there, saying that those people were not killed by people from DRC. Why were they banning us? How are you here to explain the case you didn't commit and have no role in it? Those are the same people still moving around the world. What will commemorating make us reach on to? Friends and brethren on different continents of the world and different seasons, in different tribes and communities, people faced such atrocities. We are not the first. Some faced criminals of war, or crimes of war. Others are subjected to genocide. The way they handled the case, it is the same way we are moving in the same line. It delays, but at the end it gives a solution. Before giving articles, I repeat to the word of Bishop. He said human rights accepted that people were killed and said the target people. When they reached at the end, the problem isn't the nomenclature of that atrocity committed. Let us leave it. If they had called it genocide, possible or impossible, the world could have stood and came for a rescue. Because the world has shame when they mention of genocide. Leave alone the nomenclature things, but we bring people to courts, be called groups of bandits who attacked the refugees and killed them. The way in massacre they killed people. Nomenclature, all the naming. It is something great. That's why Netanyahu do whatever or those things the way he wants, and the world is silent because the world is shame. It has the shame that took long. The Jews being killed. The articles the council mentioned when they are in press, he called the court. They are the laws violated. They have killed it physically. So the sin is physically seen. What they call the moral element, the intention. All those things were there. They were there. The human rights decided to go silent. What you should know, the way the world today stands, the world today stands this way. The media and these non-governmental organizations, they are no longer responsible for the news they utter out. They proclaim the news the government wants them to say. Have you heard? There is no European journalist who goes to seek for the reasons of Ukraine and Russia. That's not how it is currently. The media that want to live, they tell the citizens what the governments need them to listen. That's how the setting of today is. That is the way it is. For what I wanted to mention briefly, for us not to be weakening while commemorating the Second World War, 8 years have passed. The Japanese were struck by the atomic bomb in a place called Hiroshima. It killed 140 citizens. 100,000. There are those killed by the actual storming and the effects of the storming. 700,000 people killed in Nagasaki. But the world was watching. The world was watching. Now telling me 166 people. When UN was in Rwanda, can it make them have sleepless nights? The Japanese began from that day. They commemorate. They testify. A year ends. Another one comes. Recently, 6th of August this year, they commemorated for the 80th season. They get the testimonies. There are few witnesses. It has a way it is achieved and kept for the next generations to come and get the original news. You having the foundation of Gatumba, learn that thing because we have people who will denounce it. And maybe we say Banyamulenge denying it. Not a Belgian will accept. Document these things that are said by the survivors. The commemorating of Japanese came, there are two things. When they had pressurized the world, two decisions were taken. There's weapons of mass destruction. Let us stop spreading all over the world them. The second decision, they are supposed to be followed up and be known. For anyone not to strike somewhere else. That is those are the effects of it that affecting Iran. It maybe things to do secretly. The world doesn't need to see other things like those happened in Japan. That's why they kill their scientists. And there is no country to come out and say. In a country called Armenia, they also had a genocide there with the Ottoman Empire. And they keep on commemorating. And they requested for it to be termed as genocide and be their reparations. And now mighty countries accepted it is genocide. In the last countries that accepted, there is France. They say it is a genocide. Now there is a step of reparations. Here in South Africa, in the country of Namibia, and a tribe called the Herero. During colonization, they were killed by the Germans. They took them away from the plenty soil. The colonialists wanted the land, and they sent them to the desert, in the Kalahari desert. And they died and died because of commemorating and speaking of it. German accepted the killing, and they accepted to give reparations of multitudes and multitudes of millions. The problem is the management of the descendants of those who were killed, or be given to the developmental projects of that certain community. On standing on such facts, let them not weaken you. Today we are doing it not in weakness. It will be done in strength. The nations will hear. Let it go where, but solutions will be provided. We seek justice, and justice will be granted to us. Recently, they brought a perpetrator from Norway to Rwanda. They are still bringing them. The reason why they are bringing them, it is because genocide was accepted. The day ours will be accepted, not to actually Habimana and the Rasa and others behind it. They will be seen because the world has hands, but the world hates the weak. Let us commemorate as seeking strength amidst us. Remember as we seek strength amidst us. Justice is fought for. You cannot be granted it because it is expensive. The second word I'll mention briefly about it. The plan of denying this massacre being built in Kinshasa, that has now gotten a form in a meeting of ministers on 25th of July. Our President Tshisekedi, he told ministers to go to provinces to go and jubilate what they called the Congolese genocide. Because the world was pressurizing him, and they say, you're killing people. Your Wazalendos have killed a lot of people. The way you embrace them, and the killing is upon you. For him to act that way, he's saying it is supposed to be termed the Congolese genocide. It is Genocide. They are celebrating it for the third year. He asked to be done in all provinces all over the country. Say that what we are saying is a lie. I accept Congolese died. Where there is war that has taken that long has killed people. But what they call genocide is what that man has mentioned. The target they have. It is to go in the 60th Parliament, in the Department of Human Rights, in Geneva. The voice of Congolese government be heard, being supported by their allies. The second target, it is the 80th Parliament of the UN, where that voice will be rising from. And said the Tutsis are saying are being killed, but also Congolese are being killed. It is one thing in different provinces. There be the appropriations to be the problem of the citizens, not be called of the government. So that the citizens be heard that they are the ones committed genocide against. The second, to recognize it internationally, for the nations to bless it, and think that is the gate out of these problems. That plan is there. We rebuke it broad daylight. We seek and ask that the genocide committed against us, and still in that wave of the genocide, to be accepted by nations. The nations listen. And our brothers Congolese, they know. When we follow the acts of violences, they also follow. When we follow the speeches to exterminate Banyamulenge, they also follow. They don't whisper. They mention of it broad daylight by the Minister of Justice, being spoken by the MPs. Is there anything left out? That plan is there to deny. But let us stay strong and seek capabilities, and we purchase power amidst us. The elders say that the concern of the village comes after the rain, after drizzling. I thank the community of Congolese in Uganda. I thank the embassy of Congo in Uganda. For the countries I moved in and stayed in, I found here the works of supporting a country. These actions here is building a nation. What the embassy of Congo does here, it is to build peace. Seeing that all people are equal under the law. This is what is missed. Because they went into an extremism ideology. That's why they are eating each other in Kinshasa. There is no any other country that has ever had 25 generals in prison. Nothing, no country. And have 500 colonels in prison. And those are not Banyamulenge, but other tribes in DRC. The man said what he mentioned. Though he's called a mush, is your fellow. The one called Bishugi, they are your brothers. And they looked for another name, they called themselves Bashi. I'm a friend to their king, Pierre Ndatabaye. When we follow history, these are his brothers. He said his grandmother, you are together. I thank this unity as Congolese. Please keep it up. Secondly, I thank those who thought that justice is fought for. What they are doing is supposed to be blessed and thanked for. Those not bothered by it, history will reach them. And the history of people is not made up by good things only. History is made up of good and bad things. This massacre, we wanting or not, it is under our history. Take heart and seek powers amidst us and seek for justice. Thank you. We are pained for losing our brethren, but there is hope. So this is the light of hope. Our community won't be exterminated to the end. Though we die daily, though it reaches time of being eaten, but there is hope. Our nation, let us not stay with agony. As we commemorate, let us build capabilities amidst us. Not just as a ritual ceremony, but keep meditating about it.